Hello, one and all. This is the Dealership News Podcast. I'm Kelly Kleinman, and today we get the scoop on a company pushing the video revolution hard in the form of a terrific video email program called SnapCell. We first met last year, and I found them to be very focused on what they're doing and quite fun to be around. Their technology has been successful for dealers who institute it, and that says it all. So without further ado, let's find out more about Snap with Brent Williams, the Alpharoo at SnapCell. Brent, great to talk to you.
Hi, Kelly. How you doing?
Doing really, really good. So, we know each other. I know all about your awesome company, but you're going to tell everybody all about it as well right now. How did you get into the automotive industry? Was it something you've had a lifelong interest in, or did you just wake up one day and there you were wondering what just happened?
No, I've been in sales all my life and spent a little bit of time over in Spain because, as you know, I am English and I'm from London.
Mm-hmm.
And when I come back to the UK, probably about 18, 19 years ago, a lot of people asked me if I'd ever been in the car trade. And I started in the car trade with a company called West London Nissan, which was one store at the time.
Mm.
I stayed with them for about 4.5 years, and during the time we were with them, I went into the commercial department and we built our fleet department up there, and I actually come second in the Motor Trade Awards here in the UK, commendable second for the second biggest fleet department in the UK, and eventually we got up to 7 stores, and I used to be a regional for half of those. Then I sort of got headhunted by a big company with 8 franchises on one site, 45 salesmen. I had 18 managers, 4 workshops, and I was asked to run the company. And we took that pretty much we doubled the income on that business in 3 years. And I was there for quite a few years. So my background is automotive. I've worked from the bottom as a salesperson right up to running the whole business, selling 9,000 cars a year from one site.
Oh, Lord. That's a lot of cars. So give us a little bit of a backstory behind SnapCell. How did it come to be?
Well, I've been using video probably for the best part of 10, 12 years to help sales. This particular company that I used to work with, it probably, if I talked in sterling pounds, I mean, these are not exact figures, but, if you were talking about 60 million pounds when I first went there a year, it doubled, and probably video was probably 15 to 18% of the reason why that revenue doubled. It wasn't all of it, but it was one of the reasons. And I realized very quickly that video was important because we're coming into this internet era where people, they look online for cars, but we were losing that personal contact with the customers.
Mm-hmm.
People buy from people. The only time we were seeing them or really getting a real concrete communication with them was when they were coming in, and they were the people ready to buy, not the people that were looking around. So I sort of, in a way, put the dealership into the people's hands or into their front rooms, if that makes sense.
Yeah, sure. No, it does make a lot of sense. It's the next best thing to being there.
Yeah, and I've just revolutionized, if you like, how the product works a little bit better. Our product is different to anything out there because it's more engaging with the customer, with call to actions,
Sure. Well, let's talk about an elevator pitch here. Say that I'm a GM or president of a big dealer group, and you do work with some who doesn't know you though. What would your 30-second elevator pitch sound like?
Well, the first thing I would ask them is, if they're using video. If they're using video, great. They see the value in it.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
video's just becoming big in the States now. And more and more people, and I notice this from show to show I go to, more and more people realise that they need to get engaged with video. If they don't do it now, they're going to be behind in 2 years, and that will affect financials. So if someone says to me, for example, no, I don't use video, why would I need it? I would turn around to them and say, well, look, we can increase in fixed ops, for example. We're seeing roughly a 50% increase on identified work sold. In sales, we're seeing that people are, out of every video that's watched, we're getting between 10 and 14% are buying from them videos. So that just proves to you that by people with videos, it creates desire. And that is the truth of it, you know? It creates desire. If you buy anything now, you don't just look at pictures. You're always looking for a video, you know?
That's true. We're very video centric over here at Dealership News. We see the value in it. We put out social media pieces, and we see the amount of engagement go way, way up. I mean, it's not even close with something that's a static presentation. So yeah, video is huge. Well, you mentioned you threw some.
Well, most things I do on video on LinkedIn, on my personal accounts, and on our social, I only do video.
Yeah.
You know, on LinkedIn, I have a group called Video Tank, and I try as often as I can give people advice on videos, how to use it better. You know.
Sure.
So, you know, video is more engaging. You get more people; they're more engaged with it. But bear in mind, videos shouldn't be too long because people get disengaged also.
Yeah.
You know, and that's something I've learned over the years is there's a time limit on everything, you know?
Do you have any interesting statistics that you could throw at us? You threw a couple earlier in regards to the efficacy of video. Do you see an increase in engagement through video? You mentioned sales numbers that were actually interesting. Go ahead, throw some at us.
Definitely. So, I mean, SnapCell users experience probably roughly about 75% increase in message open rate. I mean, an industry average is around about 23.6%, but we're seeing message open rates approximately on average across all our accounts between 43 and 47%. Some are higher. Fixed op videos, for example, I know for a fact that's between 60 and 80% they get open because obviously a customer's got a car in fixed ops. So when they see a message from their dealer, they know what it's about. It's relating to their car, I should say. Mm-hmm. And straight away when they see the video, it gains transparent. It's transparent to them because it's coming from a technician, and it gains trust. And also, you know, 90% of customers do say video helps them make a buying decision. We know that for a fact. Mm-hmm. And 64% of customers say seeing a video makes them more likely to buy. That's where I come back to you about saying videos do create desire. And that is a difference. A picture will say a lot of things, but the video, it brings whatever you're looking at, whether it's a car, a boat, a person, or anything like that, it brings it more to life. Yeah?
I totally agree with you, 100%. We've adopted that philosophy here as to the bone. I mean, we know that it works. We've seen it work, and that was the whole concept behind Dealership News was video, short and sweet. Sometimes we get a little bit long, but you know, we know that there's a fine line. There's a point of diminishing returns with video. So let's do a walkthrough on what the process is when SnapCell approaches a dealer in order to bring them on board. What does the training process look like? And how much support do you provide down the line?
Well, that's a very interesting question. A lot of people in technology, they just sell someone a product and they just leave them. Okay? What we're changing our whole philosophy here at SnapCell. So firstly, when we do training, like everything, we can do it all digitally online now. So we do it in stages. So we'll do training for managers, training for salespeople, training for fixed ops technicians, and training for service advisors. Now, these training courses for them, for their part of what they need to do, to use the system is about 30 minutes. As well as we do we give them on guidance as we go through that. But what we have been doing and what I've been working on in a big way, I'm sure I know you've met Max before. She is actually going to be our success director going forward from April, and we're building a team right now where what we want to do is basically these people will keep in touch with the sales manager every week But they're going to be the people that contact the salespeople and get them engaged. We have an engagement tool in our back office. It tells us people that are engaging, how many videos there are. It's a bit like a traffic light system. So we know the people in the red we need to work with. What we're doing is we're trying to leave the sales manager so he can carry on with his daily operational stuff without keep going to people, have you done this? Have you done that process? Have you not done that process? Because it's like everything else. Whatever process you put in place, there's always going to be pain initially. And we know we've got to take that away from the dealer. And that all starts in April because we've been training on it. We've got new support features going in our back office where people want to know how to use the system. They'll just type it in a box and it will give them a video how to do it. So they don't even have to ring us. So it's something I'm really passionate about. I think retention is key. Just like if you're a car dealer, getting a customer to come back and buy a car is the most imperative thing for me. You know, people will buy SnapCell. You know, people will buy other products, but keeping people engaged and keeping them using the product is vital.
You mentioned retention, and retention is so important, right? It costs 8 times as much to go out and get a new customer as it does to retain a current one. And we had a big meeting on that on Monday, how important retention is. So that's a very interesting philosophy, and that goes a long way. So this is kind of interesting, but I'd love to be able to compare sales. Now, I don't know if you've ever been able to do an A/B, but I was wondering if you've been able to measure the difference between those who use SnapCell and those who don't, maybe within the same dealership or certainly maybe within the same brand, perhaps.
Well, I could give you feedback. For example,
sure.
We're in Group 1 dealerships in the US, and one of them is Sterling McCall, which is a big group in Houston.
Sure.
And their Lexus store is huge.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely huge. They've got 31 service advisors alone.
Wow.
Just at this one branch. It is that big. So we have seen a massive increase on sold vehicles because we can measure it to a certain degree, because what we do is we have a button in our back office that you can mark it sold. But also after a salesperson has sent a video, 2 days afterwards, we send them an email, ask them if they've sold it, yes. If they have, it will mark it sold if they click it. If they say no, we won't bother them again on that video. If they say maybe, we go back in 10 days and ask the question again. Now, that particular dealer, I can tell you now, and this is not used, this is just new because they've been selling a lot of their overage stock through this. Very, very clever the way they've been doing it. Mm-hmm. They started June last year, start of June, and I measured it to the end of December, and they'd sold 114 brand new cars without their pre-owned in them 6 months.
That's pretty impressive. That certainly pays for the product. That's for sure.
It's definitely the return on investment is huge. That particular store use it in sales and they use it in fixed ops. They use it in all the departments. Sure. Actually, they use it in BDCs as well.
Sure. So there's other folks coming out with video programs and video email and such. What sets you apart from the competition?
Well, first of all, we work on Android.
Okay,
and we work on iOS. Okay, there is some good products out there. I'm a great believer. I've been taught in the right way when you sell cars. I would never talk bad about the competition because there is nothing bad out there. But what I would say, a lot of the original products were made for desktop, and when you're made for desktop and you've got that cable connection, things always work good. But when you're on mobile apps and you're in 3 and 4G and connection splits, or you walk into the store and it connects into Wi-Fi, that minimal second, it gets lost.
Yeah.
All the other devices, I'm pretty sure their reliability rate is between 70 and 80%, because obviously we get feedback. Yeah, ours is at 99.7%. We pretty much guarantee it will get to our cloud, because we have a special system in the back of our apps that makes sure that the salesman don't have to make that video, or a technician don't have to make that video twice. Yeah. It will not delete off the device until it reaches its destination, which is our service.
Yeah, lag on the cloud is a problem. I've seen that. That's one of the reasons why I don't do. We haven't started. We're going to do them soon. Video. Do video interviews because the lag is a real problem. The way it's bad enough just on
because you're going for a third party proxy. So we've
exactly.
SnapCell now as well. We've built it. For example, one of our stores in Australia makes a video. It doesn't come all the way to the US or the UK and store on the servers there. It will store on their nearest server, so we don't have that time problem.
Right.
But what I will tell you, with the features we've got in our system already, it's simple and reliable, and we have chat and engagement buttons, and you can put promotional videos underneath your video. We've got a new release coming in April. Not going to say anything about it now, but everyone will be at least 1.5 years behind us.
Well, I was going to ask you, what does SnapCell have in the pipeline for 2019, but we're going to have to wait for that, huh?
Well, I've been testing it on LinkedIn. People don't know what it is, but some of my videos, I don't know if you've been looking on my LinkedIn, my NADA videos. It's made with the system that will be with SnapCell. No one can make this. It's taken me a year and a half. We've been building it for a long time.
Well, we're gonna have Vanessa, our social media person, link in with you. I'll link in with you after we finish this interview as well.
Just to let you know,
out.
I can release this out to you now. In the next 2-3 weeks, we will have a Facebook button on our dashboards where, for example, salesman, service advisor can do a testimonial with a customer. They push the Facebook button. Then the marketing director or the service director or the service manager gets a notification. There's a video bit waiting to be approved for Facebook. As soon as the person in charge approves it, it will post straight onto the company Facebook page.
Oh, that's simple. That's terrific.
But obviously, we've got to have someone to police it, because
right,
you need to make sure that the content is okay to go on.
Oh, yeah, I hear you there. That is true. I get you there. I think that's a great little feature, and the more the merrier. So where's SnapCell going to be in 5 years?
I truly believe we will be globally. We will be the market leader. We will be the market leader. As I've told you before, we're part of Europe's largest automotive tech company, and we will just only develop and keep improving our processes. The support, like I said to you, is my biggest thing. Is getting that support team in to take the work away from the sales managers, and we will get the service technicians, the service advisors, and the sales guys, BDC, everything engaged ourselves. We will go directly to the people that need to make the videos. So, and that will be strong, because no one really gives that kind of support, and we will just keep growing. We've got quite a few big dealers about to start. We've not announced it yet. We try to keep most things quite private at this stage, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Because we have found, since we've come into the States, a lot of people have tried to copy some of our sayings, even though we've got them trademarked and different things. So, and I get mystery shopped by the competition every week.
Yeah.
Really.
There's a lot of we can complain about the Chinese all we want, but we're up to no good here all the time anyway. It's
business
what it is.
Business. I understand that, and I find it a compliment when we get mystery shop, because if we weren't a threat or we weren't a good product, people would not mystery shop us.
I hear you there. Well, thank you very much for joining us. That is Brent Williams. The company is SnapCell. He's a Brit. That is where rock and roll is best, as is comedy, but that's just my opinion. This is Kelly Kleinman, Dealership News Podcast, and that's all for today. Stay tuned for the next one. It's coming right up. Brett will be in touch, and best of luck to you. I know there's nothing stopping you from reaching the top.
Okay, thank you, Kelly. Speak to you soon.
You bet.